like conspiracy theories. I mean, there were parts where like children were shouting.
He looks so pissed.
Why is he so mad?
He's so mad. Like she's younger. I think she's more sympathetic, whereas Don is giving up.
He's furious, dude.
Yeah, he is not happy here with you. All right, we're going to watch friend of the show, Andrew Callahan, on CNN, folks. He went on Don Lemon's show, and apparently things got a little awkward.
Also, jury selection set to begin today for the trial of former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. The far-right group leader has been charged with seditious conspiracy in the January 6th Capitol attack. He denies the charges.
Our next guest actually spent time with him in the days leading up to January 6th. It's all on camera as well for a new HBO documentary.
In 2020, shit got super serious. Protests, pandemics.
Basically a slavery.
Remember that?
Andrew's going to be on the stream, so look forward to that.
We think that they're trying to steal our election. All you have are personal attacks.
Infowar, not physical war.
My name's Andrew Callahan. This is the story of the events that led up to the January 6th Capitol riot. You ever feel like you've gone too far down the rabbit hole?
So joining us now is the director, producer, and stars in this documentary called This Place Rules, which debuts on HBO December 30th, Andrew Callahan. Andrew, I mean, this is a lot. This is a deep dive into this documentary. Yeah. And there's so much to talk about here when it comes to who you spent time with, what you saw. But, you know, when it comes to what's happening today, Enrique Tarrio, he was not at the Capitol on the 6th, but he still played a role in this. And he's facing some of the most serious charges that are stemming from that day. What did you see from him as you were shooting this?
Yeah, I just talked to him in the lead up to the January 6th Capitol riot. Hung out with him a little bit in D.C. and Miami and elsewhere.
And what did you learn about him?
He sells T-shirts. He's the chairman of the Proud Boys.
Chairman.
Yeah.
So no details about his involvement, his state of mind, or anything?
I think what happened here is that he thought he was going to talk about the documentary, and then the angle was just full-blown talk about the Proud Boys, talk about Enrique Tarrio. So he got, like, weirded out a little bit.
I mean, I don't think the movie's not just about, like, the Capitol riot and all that. It's also about, like, media echo chambers, you know what I mean? And, like, the dangers of the 24-hour news cycle and how I think mainstream media, like Fox and even CNN, like, competes for views by running constant 24-hour news cycles based upon fear, division, outrage, and panic, probably to, like, sell ads. So it's not just about the Capitol riot.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. First of all, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'm not exactly sure of how that played into people going into the Capitol and rioting on January 6th. There's nothing fake about CNN.
Oh, I'm not saying, like, fake news. I'm just saying ramping people up and increasing division during that period of time, just watching people kind of fall down the rabbit hole and be pushed into action and, like, just, falling down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think more people would consider, what's happening online and what happened with the former president and the messaging that he was putting out there and QAnon and so forth.
I definitely agree 100% with that as well.
Yeah. So listen, there are literally so many jaw-dropping moments in your documentary, including a weightlifting scene with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Yeah, for sure. He can bench press a lot, actually.
Why would you put that in? Why'd you spend so much time with him, and why is he such a big part of this film?
Well, I mean, I just think that, like, whenever we were filming for the documentary, there was just certain moments that were super surreal that just kind of happened, and I felt like we had to kind of leave the footage in. So the Alex Jones weightlifting, whiskey drinking scene would also be one of those moments that I couldn't, like, leave out of the movie, for sure.
One thing that also stood out was what you heard from people when it comes to, like, conspiracy theories. I mean, there were parts where, like, children were shouting conspiracy theories, and I wondered, as you talked to these people, if you got the sense that they actually believed what they were saying, or what your takeaway was.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people, believe what they're saying. I just think that, like, the echo chambers in the media, especially more fringe media that a lot of these people are consuming, is pretty all-encompassing, and especially the mythology of QAnon, like, consumed a lot of people's lives during this period of time, and it kind of, like, just became everything they wanted to fight for up until the Capitol riot. So that particular scene where I spoke with that family in Georgia, where it was like that the structure and whole basis of their family was, like, based upon Q and following that kind of lore, was definitely unsettling for sure. But yeah, it's interesting to see where it is now, because, I guess hard QAnon stuff has kind of dissipated in terms of, like, no one posts on the Q boards anymore, but it's kind of bled into, like, mainstream conservative thought.
I do think we should point out a lot of
Don Lemald, dude, he is not happy at all.
Those conspiracies are not from legitimate media. That's from like social media and websites
Oh,
where
yeah,
those
yeah,
things are
totally,
pushed in
totally,
like dark
but-
corners of the internet.
Oh yeah, but it's like people spend their whole time in these dark corners of the internet, so it feels very real to them, especially because I think the biggest problem is probably media literacy and like taking a lot of this information that's false as fact because of, you know, you're seeing it on Facebook, you're seeing it on Newsmax, you're seeing it on One American News Network, places like that.
Andrew Callahan, thank you very much. Best of luck with this. This Place Rules debuts on HBO and streams on HBO Max. That's on December 30th.
Yeah, I mean, he compared him to Fox News, so I understand why. I mean, yeah, he was talking about the 24-hour clickbait news cycle, which CNN absolutely does engage in. Something that mainstream news does not like at all is being called out. Like, they believe that they're above it. You know what I mean? They believe they're above any kind of criticism whatsoever.
I don't believe they had seen the documentary.
Yeah, did you send them?
No, I mean, I just based upon the question. So bear in mind, this is 7 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm being told they're gonna ask me about me, my life, and the movie. You know, how does it feel to have a movie? What's your name? What can we expect to see? I want you to listen to the first question they ask me here.
But, you know, when it comes to what's happening today, Enrico Tarrio, he was not at the Capitol on the 6th, but he still played a role in this, and he's facing some of the most serious charges that are stemming from that day. What did you see from him as you were shooting this?
Yeah,
hear
I
that
just
question?
talked to him in the lead up to
The first question they say is,
Because-
what can you tell us about the mental state of Enrique Tarrio leading up to the Capitol riot?
So
What?
the reason why they did that is because they don't give a fuck about the documentary. Or they don't give a fuck about your personal experiences or even like the contents of the documentary. They want to cut this as like something about Enrique Tarrio instead. They were just like, they're hyper focusing on that aspect, even though like that aspect is not, you know, all that unique or interesting in comparison to like the overarching message that you had in there.
Yeah, and
they have a
also-
narrative.
But that's like what they want is to run like an Enrique Tarrio news cycle to get their viewers all pissed off about January 6th every single day and make it seem like it's 9/11 and it like make their viewership never forget about the 6th like it was the worst day of history.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is like, dude,
It was 9/11 for liberals.
Kamala Harris actually said that. You've seen that speech, right?
Yeah.
Certain dates echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
These are moments that we can never forget.
the January 6th Capitol riot, hung out with him a little bit in D.C. and Miami and elsewhere.
And what did you learn about him?
He sells T-shirts.
That's the perfect way to describe him, though. I think one thing that the documentary showed me for sure, like before I was always like, you and I have even had this conversation in private where I was like, maybe, do you think Enrique Tarrio is a CIA, or not CIA, like an FBI asset or whatever? Because like he had been an informant, right? And no, when you actually watch the documentary, you'll see like, nah, he's just like a fucking T-shirt salesman.
Him and Alex Jones run the two largest Patriot merchandise companies on the internet.
Yeah.
And Enrique Tarrio sells Joe Biden merch on the side. So basically, when I say he's a T-shirt salesman, that's what I'm saying. That's
No,
the main
he
thing you need to know
literally
about
is
Enrique
like a
Tarrio.
merchandise salesman, and I think he even admits in the documentary that he sells Joe Biden shirts as well,
Yeah.
secretly.
But this freaked me out so much because here I am on CNN, which is a pillar of American journalism, and they hit me with the curveball question at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm alone remotely in a room in Midtown Manhattan with a producer looking at me, and I didn't know what to say here. I was fucking terrified. I don't know if you can tell here, but like my heart was beating out of my chest in this moment.
I know the producer that
dude,
is my friend's brother.
Hell yeah, he was nice. But I'm saying that question also potentially puts me in danger. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're asking me to make a pointed statement about like a right-wing leader like that. Like if I say something incriminating, negative, that puts a target on my head, dude.
Yeah.
Just it
They're
does.
the
Like,
Proud Boys.
Oh, it also like kind of cucks your future journalistic endeavors as well when you like you have a way of opening a lot of these people up and having them be honest with you that you probably wouldn't want to compromise either.
I plan to cover these events in the future. I plan to do more stuff on the right, on the left, and all types of subcultures and fringes and whatever. So if I say something damning about Enrique Tarrio, that puts me in a lot of danger at a future event that I might cover because they're like, that's the guy who said that Enrique Tarrio wanted the Capitol riot to happen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no details about his involvement, his state of mind, or anything?
I mean, I don't think the movie's not just about like the Capitol riot and all that. It's also about like media echo chambers. You know what I mean? And like the dangers of the 24-hour news cycle and how I think mainstream media like Fox and even CNN like competes for views by running
Listen, go back 3 seconds. Listen to that pen click.
CNN like competes for views by running.
Who's doing that? Don Lemon is doing that. He's just pissed off. He's
No, I
frustrated.
think the pen click is some kind of like signifier to the producers.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, like cut this guy off. Listen to it again if you want to hear it.
Constant 24-hour news cycles based upon fear, division, outrage, and panic, probably to like sell ads. So it's not just about the Capitol riot.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. First of all, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'm
Oh.
not exactly sure of how that played into people going into the Capitol.
I mean, no,
and
but he's a
riot.
pundit. Like, he's a pundit. The difference between me and like Don Lemon, though, is that like I openly tell you what my perspective is, right? Like, where they are supposed to be the arbiter of truth and objective news
Well,
analysis.
then it's reasonable that a pundit would understand a valid concern with the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
and the fear machine it creates, right?
But of
It's
course,
not that-
of course, he's that's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
it's
he
not
makes
like an
it.
offense. I wasn't like being a dick. I was just bringing up something that is addressed in the movie.
Yeah.
Rioting on January 6th. There's nothing fake about CNN.
I didn't say.
Oh,
that.
I'm not saying like fake news. I'm just saying ramping people up
Pause it
and
real quick.
increasing division.
You see how he instantly went for the fake news thing?
Yeah. Well, that's to vilify you to the audience because that's like
Basically to pre-cancel the documentary.
Well, it's to basically just say, well, I don't think they were going to be able to cancel it because
No,
like
I'm
you're
just saying,
not.
like they're trying to make it. They're
Yeah.
trying to make me seem like I am a.
I think in that moment he's trying to put you in a pocket and basically say that like, oh, you're saying CNN is fake news, so that the audience that's already conditioned into saying, oh, what the fuck is this guy like a right wing guy?
Yeah.
To go, oh yeah, he must be a right wing guy because he's saying CNN is fake news, and I'm conditioned into knowing that that's like a right wing thing to say.
Yeah.
And during that period of time, just watching people kind of fall down the rabbit hole and be pushed into action and like just falling down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think more people would consider, what's happening online and what happened with the former president and the messaging that he was putting out there and QAnon and so forth. That
Oh
had
yeah,
much more
I
to do.
definitely agree 100% with that as well.
Yeah. So listen,
And to be fair, I do
are
think
literally
that,
so many
Yeah, I mean,
jaw-dropping
look,
moments.
CNN is not the same as like
No.
Fox News, but CNN also plays a role in this for
Well, I'm
sure.
saying online echo chambers are definitely more damaging and effective for propaganda than like the
Yeah.
mainstream media outrage. But two things can be true at one time.
Yeah.
With this stuff.
in your documentary, including a weightlifting scene with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Listen to how he
he's
answers the next question.
he's literally he's saying that you're friends with the people.
Next thing he says, listen to the way he phrases it. It's a why question. Let's listen.
Yeah, why did you humanize Alex Jones?
Listen
Is
to
the
what he
question.
says.
Yeah, for sure. He can bench press a lot, actually.
Why would you put that in? Why'd you spend so much time with him, and why is he such a big part of this film?
Well, I mean,
Dude,
I just think that like
you hear the way
when
that
we were
question was
filming
asked?
for the documentary.
Yeah, no,
It was
he's
an accusatory question.
no,
Why
I mean,
would
it's clear. Like he hit you with the fake news thing, and now he's saying like you're homies with Alex Jones. It's done in a way that is like, it's done in a way that there's like still an out for him to be like, well, I mean, I was just saying like, how does Alex Jones's role in January 6th work? But he's not
Yeah.
just asking that. He's asking you, why are you hanging out with Alex Jones? God, one of the best parts is like you guys working out together though.
Yeah, dude, I had a fun time filming that.
Yeah, he is.
He can lift. I was saying, dude, he's strong as fuck.
He's got like dad strength, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where you're like, he's taut. Like he's Jank has a similar body.
Dude, I wish they would have fought so bad, dude.
Oh God, I think Jank would have beat his ass.
Really?
Every other demographic advantage Hillary has.
Come sit in your lap.
Oh, Jesus,
How's it going?
Hey, Alex Jones, how you
Good to see
doing?
you, man. You're looking sexy.
All right.
Hey, how's the revolution going? You guys starting the revolution?
We are indeed, Alex. The revolution is afoot. Welcome to the Young Turks.
You know what Throw America is not?
All right.
Once you get out of here, Alex.
All right. We got to continue the show.
Hey, man, nobody watches you. We know nobody watches you. You need the
Saudi
ratings.
Arabians aren't funding you enough, your little jihad?
Hey, first of all, let me explain something, all right? Okay, this is bullshit. Okay, hold on. We're against Saudi Arabia, you dumbass. We talk about that all the time.
Oh, really?
We talk about that all the time.
Get off the
You don't know
line,
shit. What do you think, the lizard people are in charge? Is that what you think?
Clear their space, guys. It's their space.
Dude, he used to be a fucking street like bare knuckle brawler. That motherfucker. Like he is very he is very strong. Anyway, let's continue.
One thing that also stood out was what you heard from people when it comes to like conspiracy theories. I mean, there were parts where like children were shouting.
He looks so pissed.
Why is he so mad?
He's so mad. Like she's younger. I think she's more sympathetic to like your she's probably more familiar with your content and like more sympathetic to like the documentary in general, whereas Don is giving up.
He's furious, dude. And it's not like I called him out. I just talked about the network that he works at.
Yeah. I mean, well, of course, but
No,
know,
I'm
he
just
is
saying,
the face of the network.
Yeah, but it's not him specifically.
Yeah, he is not happy here with you.
That particular scene where I spoke with that family in Georgia, where it was like that the structure and whole basis of their family was like based upon Q and following that kind of lore, was definitely unsettling for sure. But yeah, it's interesting to see where it is now because, you know, I guess hard QAnon stuff has kind of dissipated in terms of
Dude,
like,
I sound
you know,
like
no
such
one
a
posts on the
a
Q boards
stoned
anymore.
California guy. You know what I mean? It's like 6 a.m. I look like I'm high as shit. I'm like, yeah, it's like a.
No, you sound great, bro. You're crazy.
You know, this family's all like super.
You sound great. What are you talking about?
Dude, I sound
led
dumb
into, like,
as shit.
me.
You sound great.
Conservative thought.
All right.
Andrew Callahan, thank you very much. Best of luck with this. This Place Rules debuts on HBO and streams on HBO Max. That's on December 30th.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, they couldn't get the Enrique Tarrio shit out of you, so he was like, "Oh fuck this guy."
Should have just started crying, talking about how Enrique Tarrio was like.
Should have been like, "Yeah,
He's
Enrique."
a monster.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely sucks, but like,